Always be recording.
That's right. You never know when the magic starts.
Per fishing kit, always be recording.
Always record.
That's right.
There you go. Shit.
So we have a half hour before the battery dies?
There's a limit on cameras, on
DSLR cameras.
On photography cameras.
There you go.
There's a limit, because if they let you shoot over half an hour, it puts the camera into a different category.
The tax brackets, my friend.
Yeah.
So it's a government thing.
It's a
government
loophole.
thing, right?
Yeah.
You got to jump through the loopholes.
It's stupid is what
it is. Absolutely.
Pretty dumb, though.
So, yeah, like if you go out and look for, like, let's say Canon cameras, DSLRs, they'll all have a 29-minute, 59-second limit.
How do you turn this thing on?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
So that way when you, we were talking the other day when we were fishing, that the bite always hits at like 31 minutes.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Your camera just shuts off.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you'll see what I'm talking about.
And I'm just getting into it where, I've got my GoPro either on me or on a tripod.
Yeah.
And as soon as I shut it off, that's when I get a bite, because it takes the time to save the old clip and then restart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets frustrating.
And I hate to say it, but some of my ice fishing videos, I let the fish back down in the hole, restart my camera.
A little behind the scenes.
I was not prepared, but
that is too funny, man. All right, everybody.
No, go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah.
You
Go
want
ahead.
the intro? You want me?
Go ahead. Welcome back.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Beer Fish Fanatics. This is Grandy with Mop Hop Fishing and Mop Hop Sports, and we have
Kit with the Fishing Kit YouTube channel.
And today we're actually on site up here, a little different angle, but we're at a Fire Trucker Brewery Company up here in Ankeny, Iowa. Figured we'd swing back up here. We haven't been up here in, I think, a couple months, right?
It's been at least a couple months. Well, because you took a sabbatical for a couple months.
Yes.
And it was probably a month before that since we came out here.
So it's been a while.
This is a gated community. This is the first time I've ever been here. You got to walk through a gate.
It is. You do have to walk through a gate. I like that.
I mean, it's high class.
Yeah, it's a gated community. So if you guys hear the gentleman, he sounds familiar. We have Mr. Ryan Tasler with Tasler Guide Services joining us.
Oh, yes.
And the River Certified Podcast. How's it going, sir?
It is going great. Nice to see you again. I saw Kit last week.
Yeah.
Met up.
We caught some fish.
Yeah.
We ate some fish.
We ate some fish. It was a great time. My on the video this Friday, tomorrow, it's coming out.
Oh.
We had it was my son's 21st birthday.
Okay.
And I said, "What do you want?" He said, "I want to fish all weekend." So we did. We hit 30 hours in one weekend of fishing.
Straight. 30?
Well, we went Friday. We caught bait, so we went chub fishing.
Okay.
And as you all know, this time of year, chubs are kind of hard to come by. So, like the 22nd stop that we went to, we nailed them. We just had to go. And then we went to the metro area and we hit the river, found a current break, got on some. He caught a walleye, but mainly just drum, carp, some channel cat. Had a great time, just kind of catching up, because he moved an hour away from me, so I don't see him as much as I used to. So
Right.
It was a good day just to kind of catch up. We caught supper, then went back and fished some more, and then Sunday we meet up with Spencer and went to a spot for channel cat, and then Kit showed up. Kit calls me. He's like, "I know this truck. How are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Well, we're doing good enough to eat, so come down. We're gonna cook. We're gonna cook on the bank."
So you guys didn't hit each other up ahead of time. It was just one of those.
Yeah, it was one of those. We just happened to pick the right spot.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
It was a good time. We had a blast.
Nice.
One thing that surprised me between you, Spencer, and Garrett's 21st birthday was the fact that you guys didn't have beer with you.
What the hell?
I know.
How does that shit work?
My son's not a big drinker.
Oh,
He's really not, and that's why we didn't go out to the bars. He's a fishing fanatic.
Really?
I always describe him, if he has 15 minutes to fish, he's gonna fish 35 every single time.
Nice.
So yeah, he's
Well, if he's a fishing fanatic, he needs to listen and come join us on Beer Fish Fanatic. Just saying.
he gets camera shy. I had him on one of mine, and he just kind of shut down. But Spencer was on there, and we had our buddy Bob on there, so there was a lot of talking, and he just did a lot of sitting. So maybe in a different scenario, he could loosen up a little bit.
Gotcha.
But
Did you guys end up catching fish after you left to the other spot?
we went to several different spillways. We went below the spillway at the normal channel cat spot,
Right.
and it was 6 inches deep.
Wow.
Jeez.
So we went up to the spillway, and it was pretty busy. So then we went to another spillway and caught some drum and some buffalo, and it was fun. But no, we didn't hit intended species.
Right. I feel like I have a better appreciation for drum, because when the bite is tough, they always pull through.
Me and I had Butters on my podcast,
Yep.
and we labeled you the drum magnet.
Yeah. I just happen to be there every time.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
the drum magnet now?
No.
He may not catch them, but he is always there
Right.
when the drum are turned on. So he's the one that attracts them.
Why is that? That is kind of true. You don't catch him, but shit, I catch the damn drum next to you, and then he's always laughing like,
Better you than me.
Well, I mean, they're not bad fish. They're fun.
But hey,
They're fun.
they come in clutch when the bite is tough.
Yes.
and they're
yes.
and they can get large and they can fight.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're like the lure fishing version of a channel cat. You know,
I like that.
If you're really tough to get a bite, if you're throwing lures, you're either going to catch a buffalo, a carp, or a drum. If you're bank fishing and still fishing, you're going to come up with a channel cat.
Right.
So they save the day a lot.
They do.
They do,
And
but
they don't taste that bad. They're not bad eating.
I've never had one. I've used them for cut bait.
you-
Catfish love them.
if you eat them fresh, I think they taste way better, obviously, than
Yeah.
if you freeze them and try and eat it. Then
There's a lot of fish that once you freeze them, they're just not like spoonbill for one. Once you freeze them, they're not near as good as they are fresh. Because I've had them both ways, but if you clean a spoonbill, and I always marinate them in Italian dressing, and then grill them, they're delicious.
Yeah.
But you freeze them and try to prepare them the same way, and they're just not up to par.
Right. If I can help it, I never freeze fish. That's why when I go out, I only keep 1-2 fish. I don't ever go out with the plan. Okay, I'm gonna freeze a bunch of fish.
Yes.
that's because you're not married and have kids yet.
Yeah.
Because this is
So-
the thing. Because sometimes the kids are like, "Hey, Dad, I want to eat fish." And I'm like,
Yep.
"Well, shit, you know what I mean? It's kind of just like I can just go out and fish instantly and catch and bring
Yeah.
home and cook, right? Because you can if whatever you want to go eat fish. Because kid wakes up tomorrow, you know what? I want to eat fish today. I think I'm gonna go catch fresh fish.
Absolutely.
If I wake up, then my kids goes, "Hey, Dad, I'm hungry tonight. Can we have fish for dinner?" I'm like, "Well, shit, So that's the reason why I actually have to have at least a bag or two of fillets in the freezer ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with
No.
taking
not
fish
at all.
home and freezing it, but in my situation, I don't have to.
Don't blame you. Yeah.
So
And before I started videoing, that was my driving factor. If I woke up and I wanted fish, well,
Yeah.
damn it, I have to kill fish.
Right.
Because I try not to keep them.
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Sound
You're
check,
good.
sound
You're
check,
good. You're
one,
good.
one.
You're
You're
good.
good.
You're good. You're good.
But no, I try not to keep fish in the freezer just for that
sure.
reason, because I guess I got to go fish.
Yep.
So,
There's a reason. If I want to eat fish, you got to go.
yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's tough to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys are wondering, I still have freaking gout, but I'm risking this for a special guest today. I haven't drank honest to God, I haven't drank craft beer in probably about 2 months. I've been drinking a lot of the French beer, Michelob Light. I've been drinking a lot of that. So
So we're going to carry him out of here, and then tomorrow's going to suck
it's
for him.
well, shit. If you guys are listening to this, I'm actually going to Colorado this weekend for taking the kids to go visit the in-laws, and the in-laws are gonna. We can talk about this, but the in-laws are gonna be taking me to go do some lake trout ice
Oh,
fishing.
Lakers.
Lakers. So we're gonna try and see. I might record. And
Why wouldn't you? You're
yeah,
there.
that's true. I'll record. I'm
Bring
going
your
to record.
stuff.
We'll see if I can catch some Lakers because supposedly it's supposed to be easy. I mean, according to my in-laws,
I
right?
know. They're like, Lakers are so easy. You just drop your lure down and reel as fast as you can.
There you go. That's what they say. They go, well, it's so easy. Then, for some reason,
Well.
it scares them away when we go.
Must be my drum juju.
But stay tuned, and I will hopefully, like I say, I'll be able to record, and hopefully I catch a nice lake trout. Would be nice to catch.
That would be cool.
Catch a PB
That'd be
lake
cool.
trout would be kind of cool too.
That would be cool. I hope you stay out of trouble and don't get out and disappear for 2 months again.
I know, man. Well, if you guys are still wondering, I still have a broken wrist, and I've been doing physical therapy for about 3 weeks now. I'm sorry, about 3 weeks now, and still broken, still fractured, but it's healing nicely. The tendons and ligaments are still freaking jacked up, so I don't think I'll be golfing or playing ping pong within the net or playing basketball probably in. The therapist was telling me probably like 5 more months.
Do you do that a lot?
Yes.
Any of those?
Yes, all three.
Really?
Yeah. I play ping pong. I play basketball with my daughter, and
That sounds like fishing time.
I know.
but
No wonder you don't catch a lot of fish.
here we go.
We need to reallocate some time management here.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing my wife did say. She goes, "You have too many freaking hobbies, too many interests in
Yep.
life," and I do. I really do. I love all those things, and they take time, and I like to be good at them too. I want to be
Yes.
at least decent at
Yes.
them, you know. And yeah, she's just like, dude, just pick one. I go, I just can't. I have so many interests that I like to do, and those are the things I like to do.
And like the timeline of my life has evolved around different things. Like I wrestled in college. I used to cage fight. I used to run race cars, demolition derbies. I used to rodeo for 13 years.
See?
So each one, but I'm 100% at whatever I do.
In it.
So I dive into one thing, and that's it. I give a crap about anything else because I'm 100% to one goal. I can't multitask like that.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you on that. I just love all this, and then I do sports cards, and then there's a lot of shit I love to do. I don't know, man.
Do you think there's anything else after fishing? Because right now it's fishing.
I don't see it.
Or is this it?
I
Is this it?
think I've hit the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I really think it more evolves around just the flathead and the bigger fish. Because I can go walleye fishing and kind of get bored after like an hour and a half, and I'm like, I know there's a 40-pounder around here somewhere. Like my twin brother and a bunch of my buddies go to Lake Erie every year.
Mm-hmm.
They drive there, and it's always like the first weekend of May. They spend a week there. They catch limits and limits of walleye. I mean, up to 32 inches.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I go like every 4 years because it's just not
Your thing.
my thing. Now, if we would catch our limit, because we usually catch our limit by like noon, and then we go back and we play cards, we have fun, we just have a good time. Now, after we catch our limit, if I could talk them guys into catfishing or some other species, then it would be more involved for me.
For sure.
But fishing till noon and then getting drunk and playing cards, which is a blast. Don't get
Right.
me wrong. But it's like a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
So that's a once every 4 year deal for me.
Gotcha.
I can't do it every year. It's just not my cup of tea. I'd rather sit on a riverbank somewhere and not even catch a 40, but just know he's right there.
So, would you rather ice fish or would you rather walleye fish?
Probably ice fish.
Okay.
Well, you can catch walleyes while you're ice fishing.
Very true. But
Yeah.
but would you ice fish panfish or would you rather open water walleye fish?
Ice fishing to me is more like catfishing, where you and your buddies can sit around, you relax a little bit, and you just kind of take the days for what it comes. Walleye fishing in a river is cast, snag, cast,
Snag.
you know,
Yeah.
catch it, drum.
I've done plenty of that this
Yeah,
season so
yeah.
far.
Snagging?
And
Yeah.
it's high intensified to where I don't relax, and I fish to relax.
Because you get frustrated.
That, and you're always having to do something. You're always,
True.
you're always jigging up, or you're always,
Yeah, you're always retrieving, you're always jigging, you're always
Yeah.
casting.
and you're always thinking, that wasn't the right spot. That's where I need to be. That's it. And I overthink everything. With catfishing, you put your bait in the seam, you sit back, and you have a good time.
Gotcha. Some would say you're lazy. Would you think that's a lazy man's fishing way? I don't think so, because he
No.
thank you. No, there was people who were saying, because I forgot who it was. I was talking to somebody, and I go, yeah, man, I really started getting into catfishing the past, couple years, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, man, that's some lazy ass fishing. You just chuck cut bait or whatever bait. I'm just like, I think it's a little bit more to it than
It
that.
can be.
It can be.
It can be.
If you want to be mildly successful, you throw a bait out and you sit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of science behind being consistently on your target fish, and no matter what fish it is. Catfish is the same thing. If you want to be consistently on, let's say we're fishing for channel cat, there's a science for it, depending on conditions, weather, flow of the river, what time of year it is. All those factors come into consideration to your success. So when you add that to a trophy fish like a flathead, that exponentiates to the science more if you want to be consistent at it.
True.
So
Are you gonna focus more on flatheads this year?
I was gonna say flatheads.
What do you think?
That's kind of like the
That's the
discipline,
pinnacle.
the discipline of fishing that I have not gotten, deep into. I did kayak fishing. I'm doing the walleye fishing. I love the wipers. Everybody fishes for panfish. Oh, well, I don't bass fish, but flatheads is like one. It's different from channel cat fishing.
it's a musky
Right.
type
Okay.
fish.
Yeah.
I mean, numbers wise.
Yeah, so that is something that I want to explore more.
Put the time in. I mean, you want to explore it, but then you'll give up this fishing and this fishing. And
Right.
you'll just,
Right.
because especially out of a kayak, when you're tied up to the bank and you got your rods in and you're sitting there with a buddy and you're shooting the shit, and all of a sudden your rod goes donk, everything else disappears. Because you're like, it could be 10 pounds, it could be 60 pounds. And you're about to find out, because as soon as you set that hook and you go, oh, that's what you came for.
It's funny because the earlier last week before I met you guys, I was at that same spot, and I caught, I think it was my biggest channel cat I've ever caught,
Yeah,
and I was losing my mind. I couldn't imagine catching a 40-pound.
What was it,
flathead.
like 32 inches?
Yeah,
or something
32
like
inches.
a stud channel cat.
Yeah, I was surprised. That area. It's been pretty consistent other years as far as size of fish. I haven't seen like many small fish like 1-pounders, but this year I've been seeing a lot of 1-pounders, and then I catch the biggest channel cat I've ever caught, and I was losing it.
But do you think, because it's been so low for 3 years, that they haven't been able to migrate in and out of there like they normally have? So maybe some of the smaller fish have been caught in there, and now that it's finally up, maybe it'll go back to Bigville.
Right, because it was super low during the winter, but we got a bunch of rain a few weeks ago, and it raised the water up.
Which helped everything in our area.
Yeah.
Everything. Our rivers needed flush so bad.
Right. Driving. Did you drive over the big lake?
Yes.
There's so much log piled up
there?
because there's still ice on
Years.
the
Yeah.
on the lake, and
Yeah.
there's just, I feel like hundreds of yards of logs just piled up behind ice on the lake.
Oh shit.
Well, you have 3 years of stuff that normally gets washed down
Mm-hmm.
that didn't. So now the water came up to wash it down. So you have 3 years of debris that's been trapped there. And it's literally looks like a beaver dam across
Yeah.
one of our biggest lakes in Iowa.
I haven't driven by
Yeah,
there,
it's
so I haven't
crazy.
seen it.
And that's what I consider is 3 years of normal flow. It just hasn't.
I was thinking, man, you had to show me after I caught that channel cat when we were doing that little 24-hour thing with those bucket boys.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, and then he had to kick my ass. I was like, I was thinking this back of my head. I was telling my wife this. I was bragging to her, like, yeah, I beat Kit. I got a bigger channel catfish than Kit. PB, baby. And then this guy had to text a picture of a channel cat 32 inches. Like, you son of a... You couldn't even...
But when he was fishing for it, what were you doing? Playing ping pong?
He wasn't golfing.
I was healing my wrist because it was broken. It still is broken. So
I like that one.
Touche. I give it to you.
No, and like I told Kit, I was down there Saturday in your guys' area, and I was going to reach out to him, but it was just kind of a bonding day with my son, and I never did. But and the conditions weren't great.
Right.
You know, we hit the first current break, good current break that we found just below a very public area. And we're like, we're going to spend the day here. We're going to give it what it's got. Because, I mean, it gave up plenty of fish. No great fish. But it was enough that, you know, we had a blast. So
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It's the experience. More
Yes.
than anything else, it's the experience. Like,
Yeah.
I tell anybody, like, fishing, like, because I took my my buddy, you know, ice fishing for the very first fishing. He's not a fisherman. He's impatient as hell. And I told him, I go, look, bro, we're probably not going to catch shit today. I'm going to let you know. I told him. So
that's how I start every guide trip.
If you're listening, yeah. We're probably not going to catch fish today.
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
But we're going to have fun. We're going to talk some shit. We're going to enjoy our times together, and you're going to have some time with your son on the ice. So I told him that. I go, don't worry about catching a mass amount of fish because we're probably not going to catch that any. But I told him, look, it's just the experience. And he goes, you know what? After the whole thing, he goes, now I know what I need to get for next year. So at the end of the thing, he goes,
You cost him about $5,000.
It's because he was
Right.
how much does that cost? How much does that cost? And then everything I kept telling you, he's like, holy shit. He was like, that's just at it. I go, well, you don't have to get this.
Yeah.
You can get away with, you know, way less. But I was telling him, but he goes at the end of the trip, we didn't catch really much of anything, but he's like, all right, but at least I know what I have to get for next year.
Yeah.
So I go, well, that means that he enjoyed
Yes.
being out
Yes.
there.
And that's always good because they were just 1 week a little late because we were on a really good bite.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, the weather got crazy and everything opened up. So they were limited to where they could go. And the one spot they went to has been beat down all winter long.
Yeah.
So the fish were super tight-lipped.
I think ice fishing does that more to fish than open water fishing. Like, you can have your public areas that get hammered, and you can still catch fish. But you go to ice fishing where you're literally right on top of, let's say, a brush pile.
Yeah.
And if people hammer that, it really shuts them down.
I think that and also electronics. I think electronics, the fish are feeling some shit. It's like the sonar, whatever, all the electronics that we all have. Let's just say all of us are out there. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say we had a group of 10 of us with 10 flashers. The fish is feeling something.
I could almost buy into that. But how do you think live scope would factor in versus like a Vexlar that's straight down? Like live scope's coming off from the side.
I mean, he would know more than anybody else.
I've been using LiveScope for like 3 seasons now, and I've seen fish come up. Well, with LiveScope, it's basically 3 sonar beams that are stitched together. So the areas where two of those beams meet, I feel like I see fish come up.
Intense.
Yeah, I'll see fish come up to it, like stop right where those 2 beams meet, and then turn around.
Really?
It happens all the time, especially in shallower water. At that spot that I saw you, it kept happening over and over. Even in like 20 feet of water, I'll see him coming in. Okay, there's a fish coming in from 50 feet away. He's coming.
Yeah.
And it'll just stop
Hits that crossing.
Yeah, hits that crossing. and then they'll just turn around.
So when you're asked about the
crazy.
Vexlar, I bet you it does the same thing. Because let's just say you're over a brush pile. If you have a Vexlar right over top of it, they're gonna. To me, I think they would feel some.
Especially if there's like 10 guys around with all with sonar. They gotta
makes
feel
sense.
something.
They've got, and then maybe that turns them off.
But
and
I
then-
was almost wondering, you know, a Vexlar straight down, it's got that cone that spreads out.
True.
This is your feel area, let's call it.
Yeah.
Where, you know, there is a down imaging on the live scope as well, right?
Yes, yes.
But most of it is like portrayed to the side,
Right,
wherever
right.
you're. So
Right.
would that make a difference if it's not? Can you shut off like the down imaging, or is it always on? It's always like a 3-beam.
Well, because I physically rotate my transducer when I switch between down and forward.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, but it always.
I've never used one, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It always at least goes down and behind you a little bit.
Okay.
But if you tilt your transducer into the down mode, then it's kind of like in front of you and behind you. But I think it makes a big difference.
I bet you it's the frequencies. Like, you know what I'm saying? I bet you that's.
I
guess,
mean, that's how they find stuff. I mean, they
Yeah.
can feel through their
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah.
You know, especially like a channel cat.
Right.
They're-
Their whole body's feeling
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not right.
but I think that's why you're saying like open water. They're gonna eat. They're gonna eat. They're gonna
Yes.
feed, and that's why nothing really affects them because you don't have any electronics, like, in a sense, scaring them away.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
You know,
because
it just-
in open water you can cast around, so you're not always
Yeah.
directly in your cone or whatever.
So I mean, I don't know. Ice fishing can get tougher and tougher maybe in the next couple of years because I mean, if you think about it, more and more electronics, more and more stuff is pushing these fish away. So when people
but
say,
you got to think if, let's say that's a learned trait on a fish,
yeah,
how long is that going to be memory based?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are they going to forget it in an hour? They're going to, I don't know. I don't know.
I guess it depends on the spot. Because if a spot like where you guys went, where it's day in, day out, constant people there.
Do they become immune to it? They're like, oh, that's just what this spot does.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
could
it's
be
just
it.
normal.
It could-
It's just normal.
This is the alien abduction zone. I just,
100 flashers, that's it.
This is when all the chartreuse fish come out.
Very true, man. But it's definitely, I don't know who you would ask, if a biologist or somebody who can even test stuff. How do you even test that? I don't even know how.
I have to be a fish therapist of some sort.
Yeah, take a fish therapist. So, how do you like it?
If that's a
when
job, I want to apply. So somebody reach out to me.
fish therapist?
I will apply for that job.
Right.
We'll get some long talks and
That is
long
funny.
walks on a line.
Are you guys happy though? Ice is done here in Central Iowa.
Ice fishing this year was amazing.
Okay.
I had awesome luck.
Really?
I cannot wait for warm nights on the river.
Okay.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
How about you?
I've been over ice fishing for a couple weeks now, so it's already behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for open water. Well, I've been fishing open water for like
Yeah.
2-3 weeks now.
Because I was like, go visit my brother-in-laws. I was like, I wasn't even in the mood to ice fish. I didn't want to break their hearts, I guess, because I think they told their significant others, like, Gord's is coming. We're gonna take him because sake fishing. Sean's going too, so we got sake fishing. They're going. We're
Heck
gonna
yeah.
take him lake trout fishing. I was kind of over the ice thing. I was like, man, this is the reason why I can't even ice fish because of ice fishing in a sense. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I was kind of over it, but I was like, I didn't want to break their hearts. So they're like, all right,
Jaw jackers. Take jaw
Yeah,
jackers.
jaw jackers.
yeah, I'll
They set the
probably take-
hook. All you gotta do is reel them in this
I'll
way.
take 'em. But it's not that fun when you're fishing for lake trout. When you see them coming and they pounce on it, lake trout.
Well, what are you gonna do with a broken wrist anyway? Are you gonna set the hook?
Yeah, I'm gonna go like that. Left hand. I'll
You,
set the
you
left
make
hand.
you make a brace that goes to your foot. You put the rod in there, and then you just.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
I believe in you.
I'll make
do
it work,
believe in
man.
you.
Just like open water season. I already talked to the wifey. I'm like, I'm gonna make it work this year.
You have to make it work because I told him in the last podcast there's an older Asian guy with one arm that goes fishing. I see him
Yeah.
around. If he can do
No
it,
excuses.
yeah. If he can
No
do
excuses.
it, you
Very
can
true.
do it.
Very true. I'll have to. Oh, well. No, I'll be able to work it out. It's not that bad. It's just certain angles.
What if you tape the rod? so there's no flex.
Oh,
You could tape the rod where there's no flex, and you just
That's that'll work.
I know what you could do.
What?
I'm sure you've heard of this guy, Ryan, the wrist setter guy. You could hit him up.
custom made.
Hit him
for
up.
Granny.
Like, hey, wrist setter guy,
There
I
is-
need your stuff.
There is whole Facebook groups. We're
Yeah,
done.
right.
We can't miss this. we can't miss this.
We'll record this and then there we go.
All right.
All right, we're back. But
Okay.
And that's all it takes. Now we're back for
Yeah,
another
we
29
are back.
minutes.
Yep.
we
So
ain't do a refill
the
anyways,
wrist
but
setter
wrist setter
guy,
time.
there is Facebook pages based on bashing this guy. Is how that's how prevalent this guy is to the fishing world. I've never seen another guy that's got pages upon pages just to make fun of him.
It's the thing is, I want to feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, he kind of puts himself
Out.
in that situation.
He's kind of got an anger management issue
Yeah.
where someone makes fun of him and he just makes it worse every single time.
Yeah, if you're gonna be on social media, you cannot react to every little thing.
No.
That
And
is,
No.
from what I've seen, that was his problem. He would react to everything.
And then the dogs would just dive in.
Yeah, you can't feed the trolls.
No.
And he would just sit there like stuffing stuff down their throat. Like,
I'm
come
going
on.
to change your mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to change their mind. No.
I wonder if that would help, that type of rod for your situation.
I mean, I think I'll be okay in about another 2 months.
I think we need to go bionic. We just need to tape it solid, tape
It's-
the rod to it,
Use your whole arm.
It's
And-
certain angles.
and
certain
don't
angles.
pick your nose.
Actually, this is the funniest thing. I wouldn't say the funniest thing. The worst thing of this thing, guys, is wiping my ass after I poop. That has been the worst.
You got to go left.
It's that I did that
Go
for.
left.
I'm telling you guys, if you've never done it before, it's the most awkwardest
It
thing
is.
you have ever done in your life. I had to do it for a month and a half to almost 2 months.
When I had back surgery, I couldn't bend to do it correctly. So I had to switch to a left. It's either that or call in help. So you adapt.
But you're with me, you're like, what the this is this is not work. This is so
Yeah.
awkward, man. It's the weirdest thing ever, dude.
If I could, I took a shower after just to make sure.
I'm with you on that. I was telling my wife, like, we might need a bidet. Buddy. I'm like, this left-handed thing, I'm not the greatest with my left hand.
It just feels weird.
Just-
It's like someone else is in there.
All right, everybody, just try it. The next time you guys go number 2, just switch to your non-dominant hand.
BFF Challenge of the Week.
Challenge of the week. There you go. BFF challenge of the week. Just use
The left-handed wipe.
the opposite dominant hand to wipe, and you guys will see what I've been doing for a month and a half, and the struggle. It's a struggle.
Now, why is it so weird? Is it because like you want to go left, but you go right instead, or
Kid.
you want to go forward and it
I don't
goes
know.
the
You
other
gotta like
way?
lean
Okay.
the opposite side.
Yes. So think of it this way. How old are you?
37.
Okay. I would say you were probably potty trained by the age of 7, or no, not even
At least by 14.
4 or 5.
Yeah, at least 14.
14, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
at least 14.
So 14. So you've had almost 20, 30 years of one direction. So now flip it. After 20 years of one direction, because it's muscle memory, bro. It's just like fishing. It's muscle memory. It's like muscle memory. You do the same thing when a fish bite. You set the hook, right? It's muscle memory. Same thing with wiping your butt. It's muscle memory because you go one direction. You use 30 years of your life. So all of a sudden you flip to the other side. Imagine.
You don't even have to think about it.
It's like, no, I'm gonna drive from this side of the car today.
I'm telling you, dude, it messes you up. It's
crazy.
It is crazy. It's just try it. That is the challenge for the next episode, guys. Just
And he's gonna tape it, so we'll see his live reaction.
We need proof. We need proof.
That's right. Facebook Live.
Here we
Oh,
go, boys.
man.
We're wiping with the left.
Okay. Let's get serious now. So
Oh,
coming
the questions are coming out.
in, I was like, Ryan, I got a list. Normally I don't have a list, but there are some things that I want to know, or maybe people out there want to know. It kind of goes into your background a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So you've been guiding for what?
I started
year?
last summer.
Yeah, last
I
summer.
started last summer, which was just kind of a fluke. Me and Spencer were out fishing. He's like, I've turned down like 6 guide trips this week alone. You should get a boat. So I got a boat.
Sure.
I drove all the way to, I can't even remember the name, but it was clear up in northern Wisconsin.
Damn.
And because it was the only boat, it's a 1860, and the only boats that I found that were worth value were much smaller than that, which even the 1860, if I get 2 other people in there, when you're trying to run a guide trip, it's crowded. You know
Is it
what I
a
mean?
console or a tiller?
It's a console.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I'm actually, the console's further back than I'd like.
Okay.
So I'm going to move it clear up to the front deck, which would leave camping wise.
Wait, you could do that?
You moved the whole console?
Yeah. And then you just extend your throttle and you extend it's because it's all cable driven.
Gotcha.
It's just a
Okay.
cable. So, yeah, well, I'm going to push everything forward, and then I've got enough room to have 2 full cots behind it, and then I'll sleep on a sleeping pad up front.
Okay.
So my clients on my camping trips, the rod goes off, they're right there. They literally get up, set the hook.
Right.
So that's how that all kind of
Yeah, that was kind of my question.
Yeah.
Like, how does somebody get started in guiding?
it's all river certified. It literally got handed into my plate.
Damn that guy.
Like I think last year I ran 12, maybe 14 guide trips, and I would say at least 10 of those came from, hey, call this guy.
Right.
And I think I've got 18 lined up this year, and I think at least 5 of those were Spencer says, I'm full, call this guy.
Huh.
And the rest of them are, I've got a bunch of repeats from last year because we had a good time. So,
That sounds good.
you know, so I've got a bunch of repeats, but I can't thank Spencer enough.
Right.
You know, it's just, I'd be out there fishing anyway. So if I'm going to be out there fishing and this guy wants to come along, he might as well help pay for the boat.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true.
You know?
I got you on that.
And that's my only goal in my guide business right now is to pay for the boat.
Yeah.
If I make enough money to make the boat payments, I'm more than happy.
Yeah.
Makes
you know?
sense.
Yeah. So going into it, you didn't like set out like, okay, let's say last spring you weren't out there thinking, okay, I wanna start guiding this year. That's what I want to do.
Not at all.
It was kind of just like, hey, get a boat.
It all
okay.
evolved in about 72 hours.
Wow.
It
Did you
literally-
have some beverages while you were contemplating too? Or?
Normally, yes. No, but it just all made sense. And I found that boat, and it just kind of all fell into place. And if I wouldn't have found that boat or a boat similar, it probably wouldn't have happened. But
Right.
it just all kind of fell into place. And as soon as I got my boat home, Spencer bought a new house,
Yeah.
and he backed his boat into his garage and screwed his motor up.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Big
remember.
time. So literally like 4 days after I brought my boat home, he's like, I need to borrow your boat. I've got a guide trip in 4 hours
Oh shit.
and my boat's demolished.
Oh boy.
So I had to get off work, run my boat to him. And then like the next week he had trips lined up and he couldn't run them. So I just jumped in, and that was the start of my guiding business.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how that worked out.
Yeah, it's nuts, but it's awesome.
There you go. Shout out to Spencer.
Always.
Next time, you better come and have a beer with us.
I mean, that guy's a dickhead, but he's pretty cool.
River dickhead.
River Dickhead, right? RD.
RD.
So if you guys are okay, so this is the thing. If you guys are wondering, if you guys ever seen, I think you say it on your channel, right?
Yeah,
This is the RD.
Yeah, RD, rad dude,
Yeah,
Spencer.
Rad dude.
But no, that guy, I've always flathead fished. Like my family, I flathead fished with my older brother, my twin brother. I've always flathead fished. That dude has made me see another level. Like with his keeping the logs and trying new things. And I mean, he's brought the science into flathead fishing that I didn't realize. I didn't take the time to look past what I was doing. Where he gets bored easy. That's truly his drive. He gets freaking bored. So he's like, "What now?"
That's what happens when you're a science teacher.
Which I was too. I graduated high school, or I graduated college. I was a science teacher for 8 years, and it's kind of everything's clicking. Everything works a certain way for a reason. Let's find out why. But that dude's a maniac. He takes it to another level.
You guys are like two peas in a pod.
I was gonna say that, dude.
But he's, kind of. We are. I mean, we both see a wall and we're gonna either headbutt through it or find a way around it. But 9 times out of 10, our head's gonna hurt, but we're gonna get through it.
Yeah, because you guys have a similar background.
Yeah.
And now you kind of both like the same type of fishing.
Yeah.
Now you're both guiding. Now you're both making YouTube videos.
Which if we lived in, let's say, Minnesota, we'd probably be muskie fishermen. Because you want the reason why flathead is king in Iowa, because it is the hardest to catch, the biggest. If I lived somewhere else, if I lived in saltwater, it'd be a completely different species, but it'd be the same scenario. I want the trophy fish. I want what someone else can't go out and catch on a daily basis, and I want it the trophy size. That's what drives me.
I think you need to get into flathead fishing, bro.
I'm just a casual observer currently, but it is something I want to explore more.
It's awesome. Especially, like I said, in a kayak, when that rod goes off and you set the hook and your whole kayak goes...
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a wuss, but how do you guys deal with the bugs?
Once your light's on, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Or when your light's...
When it's off,
yes.
yeah.
When you're filming, it's horrible. Because your light's on and they're just like the drum magnet. They're a magnet to the light.
Is it true like mosquitoes are attracted to like type O blood? I don't know. I'm
B positive, so I don't know.
See, because I'm fat and I'm type O, so I think I'm like more attracted to the mosquitoes, I believe. So that's why I have a struggle during the summertime when I fish. I'm like, I look like I'm diseased all of a sudden because I'm bit up like a mofo. And I heard that mosquitoes love type O blood.
I kind of stumbled on something.
Okay.
Bounce Sport dryer sheets.
Oh, I think I've heard this.
They smell
like
bug repellent. They have a hint of, I don't know what that menthol.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Something? But you smell them and you're like, that's off. It's got a hint of off bug spray.
Mm-hmm.
And I use that on my fishing clothes.
Okay.
And I really, that and a thermocell is all I use.
So
I don't use any bug spray whatsoever.
You rub it on your clothes?
No, I just dry my clothes in it.
Really?
Yeah. And I use that and a thermocell, and I've got more problem with chiggers than I do mosquitoes 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
You're on a sandbar, you get sand fleas and chiggers. And,
jeez.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I've had chiggers a couple times in my life, and they suck.
Yes.
They are the devil.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do about it.
No, because they go to anywhere tight. So they start at your sock line.
Yeah.
Then they go to your waistline.
Yeah.
Then they go to your ball line.
Basically, they like lay eggs in your skin, right?
Yes.
And then
That's why you keep itching.
yeah, so and then that larva or whatever, they're basically coming out of your skin.
So how you remedy it is you're supposed to cut off the air. Like I've got clear fingernail polish at my house. Just for that reason.
Really?
Yeah, you put them over the bites and it's supposed to cut off the air and then the larvae die. inside your skin.
So if you so you have a chigger bite, you use nail polish.
That's what I use anyway.
Huh.
That's what they make, like chigger rid, but it's the same thing. It comes in a brush, and you just brush over it, and it cuts out the air supply.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if there's any science behind it. I just know it works.
I mean, it makes sense if you cut off its air. I mean,
Because I'm probably like 10% chigger larva at this point of my life.
Yeah, it sucks.
I'm not
when you get
bloated.
them.
There was just a heavy chigger.
it sucks. No, you're right.
It sucks.
sucks.
Yes.
And then you can't sleep because it's like it's so itchy, dude.
When I was growing up, I never had a reaction to poison ivy. Like, I don't remember ever reacting to it. And I was like 35, let's say. And I was out mushroom hunting, and for weeks at night, I would just itch. And at that time, I was an electrician on the road, so I was staying out of hotels all the time. I thought I brought home bed bugs
Oh boy.
because it would only be at night, and I couldn't sleep. So I burnt my mattress. I treated my whole house. It was poison ivy the whole time.
Oh
Damn.
boy.
Because I had it on my leg, and I had patches here. Because I would scratch, and then I would fold my arms.
That's
And
crazy.
there was no internet back then. So it's not like you could go, hey, can I Google this? And what the hell's wrong?
I could have, but I didn't have a smartphone until I got stranded one day, 8 miles away from my house in a snowstorm. And I didn't have a cell phone until that day.
Oh.
And I'm like, this is pretty dumb to die when there's technology out there. I mean, it was like -20 blizzard. And I was 8 miles away from my house, stuck.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I got a cell phone the next day.
Crazy.
I was so against technology, so against it. Now I'm on Facebook all the time. I got a YouTube channel.
Right. Mr. Social Media over here.
We'll do a refill, and then we do
Yeah.
want to talk to you a little bit more about your YouTube channel and everything. How's that coming on? I think homie's got
Yeah, I also got some more questions.
There we go.
Perfect.
We'll do a quick refill, and we shall be back.
All right.
There you go. Sexy.
This is awesome that companies just let you come in and do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Didn't you and Butters go to Jethro's?
Yes.
But
But what
there's
happened?
some complications.
Yeah, well, just my normal technological world is what happened.
Oh.
So me and Butters met up, and we fished a couple spots. My first time urban walleye fishing,
Okay.
which is completely different than my normal walleye fishing. We were on top of a bridge, and you cast a line in,
Yeah.
and you just do this,
Okay.
and then everybody else was catching walleye.
But not you?
I was not. But it was the first time I got to see a bridge net in use.
Oh,
so that
okay.
was cool.
Yeah.
And there was probably 30 walleye caught
Can
between the 35 guys on the bridge.
That's crazy.
Can you explain the bridge net? So if you guys are wondering, in here in central Iowa, there's places where you can fish off of a
bridge?
a small bridge,
Just
yeah,
a literal bridge.
bridge in downtown Metro.
It was urbanized.
Yeah.
And I am far from urbanized.
So what is this net, the bridge net that you're talking
So
about?
this bridge net is pretty much, I don't know if anybody, I kind of thought of, there's that wire mesh that people used to put fish in. It had a hole in the top with a spring on it.
What do you call those?
A basket.
Basket.
A basket.
Fish basket.
Yes.
Or a basket.
You know, that basket thing that fish
Yeah.
go into. But it reminded me of that, but it just had a much larger top. And you just drop it down, and the fish scoop in it, and you hand over fist it.
Yeah, it's basically just a big circular net with a long rope attached to it.
But it's like a wire, accordion style wire
Yeah.
that it gets in the current and it opens up. And
How high you think it is from the water that you were fishing from, would you guys say, to use that?
20,
Okay.
15, 20 foot. If you would try to, there was probably a 6-7 pound walleye caught that day.
Ooh,
There
damn.
was,
That's
yeah,
nice.
That's nice.
Yes, there were some good fish caught, and to reel that up 15 to 20 foot, I
Okay.
mean, chances are you're going to lose it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
either
Yeah.
the line's gonna break or
Yeah.
it's gonna just pop off the hook.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my first time seeing and I've heard about them. I know about them.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever seen them used, and it was pretty cool.
Cool.
That's just something I'm not used to.
That's funny. I have one in my garage,
What you do?
and I've never used it. It's never touched the water.
What the?
For sale now for $19.99.
Anybody?
So me and my buddy Bo, we go to the downtown area. We didn't fish that spot, but we were up river.
I saw your car downriver when we were on the bridge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. But so this was like last year. Me and my buddy Bo, we just went out to one of these downtown spots, and we were like, man, what if we catch a big fish? There's no way to get down there.
Yeah.
And so we're like thinking it ain't gonna happen. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yep.
Guess what? happened?
Uh-huh.
So guess what happens? My buddy Bo, we're throwing swim baits, and he hooks up with a pretty nice flathead.
Oh.
And there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. You just admire the fish until it
Yeah.
busts off.
From 20
Yeah.
feet above.
Yeah. And so well
Talk about an alien abduction. You got these beings
Yeah, no, right.
looking over the bridge.
Imagine if you were a fish and dude, imagine if you were the fish and they just hooked you and they just brought you up.
so we're leaning over looking at it, and he's trying to lift it up, but
Because
there's
he's got
no
like
way.
6 pound test.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, 6-8
Yeah.
pound maybe.
You couldn't even get his gills out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That night, he ordered a bridge net, and this, mind you, this was probably a year ago. It's been sitting in my garage, has not seen water ever since.
Yeah.
You ordered it or he ordered it?
He ordered it.
Well, there's probably, 3 weeks a year that you fish from the bridge?
Actually, I never fished.
But like normally.
Yeah.
Like there was probably 30 people on this bridge
Right.
when we were there.
It's not an area I frequent, so that bridge net's
Yeah.
probably gonna sit there for another year,
Pristine.
Yeah.
Pristine.
Well, sometimes
like new.
And when you need it, it'll be in your
There you
garage.
go.
Yeah.
I guess if the wiper runs, that's a possibility you can go for a wiper run in that spot.
Yeah. Man,
That's a good spot.
I've seen people.
it
I've
really
seen
is.
people catch wipers there. That's why, and I've seen them use. I'm like, holy shit, that was cool as hell. Like I was
Yeah.
like you. The first time I saw it, like a couple years, like 2 years ago, I was like, dude, that is so cool. And they caught you. It was probably a good six pound wiper, and there's no way they're gonna be able to. I mean,
Yeah.
lift that up.
And I had so much fun because it was so new to me.
Cool.
I
Like
bet.
it was, I just took it in.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on catching anything. I was just soaking it in and meeting new people. And
Awesome.
like there was this guy that probably hadn't bathed in 3 weeks,
Yeah, it sounds about right
about
for
right.
that.
and he pulls up and
that area.
he's just so full of shit. I bet I talked to him for 45 minutes. He's my type of dude,
It was entertaining, but
It was-
it's cool.
He's like, you need to put this here and this here, and I'm like, why aren't you fishing, dude? You're in your truck. If I'm gonna take advice from a dude, I want to see some results first.
So what technology issues did you have? What happened?
So me and Butters went fishing, had a good time. We pretty unsuccessful all around.
Yeah, that was the same day I was out too, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yep.
Yep. And then we went to Jethro's South Side,
Yeah.
which is a great place. I've eaten there several times. We walk in, I'm like, this is the deal. We want to do a podcast. I'm an hour and a half away from home. Is there any way you could help us out? Absolutely. They set us up right up front, give us a plug in. I mean, it was sweet. So we talked for an hour and a half. And we close out, do our last cast. I go around, SD card full.
Oh man.
SD card
How-
full.
how far
is
in?
almost a minute 34 seconds.
Jesus.
1 minute
So
34
So
seconds.
you got a minute and 34 seconds of good content.
Well, kind of, because the audio was fine. It was just my GoPro.
Okay. So at least you got the audio.
During my trip, evidently I hit the button for 2.5 hours.
So you recorded nothing but Bullshit.
I've got to drive there. I've got...
Yeah. Hey, we know we've had there's been podcast episodes where you guys will just see us frozen on YouTube. That's because of that exact same
I'm
issue.
so technologically disadvantaged. It's unbelievable. Like I said, I didn't have a cell phone until 5 years ago.
Man, I wonder, like, the guy that you talk to, he's like, man, I'm looking forward to this podcast. And he's like waiting, like, okay, Jethro Southside should be tagged about a podcast sometime. He's just sitting there waiting. Like,
I apologize. I disappoint a lot of people a lot of times.
He's like, that is the last podcast that's ever going to happen in my restaurant.
If that guy ever comes, don't let him in.
So I didn't have, because fishing's tough right now, at least in my area. Like I drove an hour to get here. So up in my area, fishing is not great anytime. Like you got to work.
Okay.
But right now it sucks.
I was gonna say down here isn't that much better. At least for me, it hasn't been that great. I mean, granted, I'm catching fish here and there.
Yes.
But
do you think it's that time of the year though?
Yeah, it's tough right now.
Yeah.
The water's cold.
Yeah,
It's
the weather's
high.
all over the place.
But I didn't have content, and I'm like, Butters. This is Tuesday at like 7 o'clock at
Yeah,
night.
this is after the fact, right?
Yeah.
After Jethro's.
And I had a guide trip that I have had, and Spencer's had them. It's Mike and Trish, and we were supposed to do a podcast Wednesday night,
Okay.
and their uncle died on like a Tuesday, so they're heartbroken. There's no way I'm even gonna put them in that position.
Right.
So Tuesday at like 7 o'clock at night, I'm like, Butters, what are you doing tomorrow? I will give you gas money, beer, and I will cook you dinner if you come do a podcast. So he drove all the way to my house, which is like an hour and 15 minutes from his house.
For sure.
To redo the podcast that I screwed up.
Wow.
Shout out to Butters,
So
man.
thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, Butters.
I
Jeremy.
appreciate it, buddy.
Butters, cheers, bro. He helped carry us for when I was on my sabbatical.
Yes,
So
I saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he helped Fishing Kit here, being a significant other.
He's such a good dude.
Yeah, he's a pretty good dude.
He is. I mean, if it doesn't matter if you got a flat tire on the side of the road or if you need $10.
Yeah.
You're like, Butters got me.
Yeah.
He's got me.
Or if you need someone to pull your sled up a hill with no snow, you got Butters.
That's true. So how is
Because
the-
all you got to do is say, I bet you can't do that.
Like, hey,
Oh, that is so true. I can do that with Butter. You're right on that. But you can't do that,
I
bro.
bet you can't.
but you don't need to either. So that's the
true.
thing with
Yeah.
Butters.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy that he is.
Yeah, he's a handout first. Yeah.
You tell him about May? About Memorial Day weekend?
Butters?
Yeah. Does
Oh
he wanna
yeah,
go?
we're gonna do a little fishing trip. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he wants to go.
Okay.
But okay, I'm gonna get back to serious questions
Uh-oh.
again, real quick.
Uh-oh.
So
Drum roll.
We gotta drip feed these in.
That's true. We'll talk about fishing once in a while.
Okay, so as a guide, what does it mean to be a guide? Is that just being saying, like, going on Facebook, hey, I'll take you out fishing for $150 a day, or is there certain, I don't know, credentials that you need, like a license or insurance? Do you need those things to be a guide, or can you just be like, hey?
Technically, no.
No?
You don't. But, I mean, if you're going to take someone that you don't know out on your boat or even out with, you're opening yourself up to litigation.
Liability. You're liable.
So you have to have the insurance to cover your ass.
Okay, so is that separate from is there like a guide license?
There is not.
There's not.
In the state of
Oh.
Iowa, there's not.
Okay.
Now, navigable waters, you have to have your captain's license.
Okay, so define navigable
What?
waters.
What?
I made it look so easy.
I know you did. I'm like, damn. I'm singing in my head right now, like, that shit was hard.
Now, like Spencer, when he goes down to Florida, that's navigable.
Yeah, he
Which
just got
means,
his
yes,
captain's license.
he just
right?
Captain Spencer Bauer.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to talk to him now. Yes, Captain.
Yeah, yes. Aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain. Freaking Captain Bowers.
So, navigable waters is anything where there's barge traffic. Historically.
Oh.
Like
historically.
his river down the Chattahoochee in Florida does not have barge traffic now, but back when it did, so it is classified as navigable. I'm not even sure that's a freaking word now that I say it.
I think the more we say it, the more it doesn't make sense.
So, what is the definition of navigable
I
water?
think barge traffic or commerce-based traffic,
Okay.
I think is like the Missouri, Mississippi,
Yeah.
evidently the Chattahoochee.
So even if it isn't now, it was at some point.
At
so
some
it's
point,
still
so it didn't
considered-
get unclassified.
Okay.
So you
That
have
makes
to
sense.
have your captain's license to run commerce on it, which is what guide trips are considered. Because you're making money.
But in Iowa, we don't have
No.
none of that.
No, unless you're on the Missouri, Mississippi, you would have to. Like I couldn't go to the Missouri, Mississippi and run a guide trip.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the Des Moines Raccoon, which I mainstay on.
Okay.
That's
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering because I heard that Spencer got his captain's license. Like, what does that even mean?
But why would he need it here? You don't. No,
But-
I get that. No.
I think it's called a 6-pack or whatever it is. It's kind of like the level line captain's license. It's not like I think he can run a barge up to so much size. I don't have the ins and outs, but there is so much technical stuff into that. It's like me getting my electrical license.
Really?
There's
Okay.
so much stuff that you'll never ever use, but you have to know
To get that license.
to pass this license.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like he was sweating. And he busted his ass for it. But he
Yeah.
was sweating because he's like, I'll never need this, but I gotta know this.
Right.
You know, it could be like my electrical license was like 300 questions, and there's 82 of them I may use on a day-to-day basis.
Wow.
The rest of them are nonsense.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So do you know any of those captain's questions?
I've never dove into it, but I would say I would fail miserably. Safely say I would fail miserably. Yeah, because it's like, okay, daytime, the lighting on a boat is different than nighttime on the lighting on a boat, and the size of the river and the size of the boat also differ in lighting. Like you got to have a bow light, you got to have it's all different because they're commercial. So you have to have different lighting in different areas, and you have to be able to read that if they're coming at you or going to the side of you.
Huh.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's kind of
is
like
what-
Yeah. It's like,
it's bullshit.
it's kind of like having a driver's license to take people out fishing on certain bodies of water.
or have no.
Kind-
It's like
yeah.
having a commercial trucker's license and you.
A CDL, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but-
like a CDL that nobody ever uses unless you
Yeah,
run a barge.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Pretty much.
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
But the biggest thing is that you need the insurance, the liability,
Yes.
just in case if somebody gets
Absolutely.
hurt, they break
know,
a leg or something. They
If
can-
someone gets a hook in their thumb and it gets infected,
yeah,
I'm liable for that.
100, yeah.
You
That's
know
the
what I mean?
biggest. Yeah, that's the biggest thing is the insurance factor
You know, me,
as a guide.
if I take Kid out on my boat, he gets a hook in his finger, I'm laughing my ass off.
Yeah, it's my own fault.
I take Jenny Sue out, she gets a hook, I'm like, there goes my house.
Very true. So that's the biggest thing I think
Yes.
is the licensing as a guide.
And the biggest thing about guiding is, you know, we set up a guide trip 2 months ahead of time. We're in contact. You know, we email, we text, we talk to each other on the phone. I get to know the people before we go on a guide trip. So when I set up that and made it, you know, I got the boat in the water, everything's ready when they show up. It's like meeting a new friend because I've got this background that we've built in the last month and a half that now we can just relax. You know what I mean? Now we can go fishing the way I like to go fishing because I already know what you expect. You already know what I expect. So the background part of it is so important to me because I don't want to go out there and be tense. I don't want to go out and put on a facade that I want to entertain you.
Yeah.
I want you to know who I am coming into it, so I can just relax and fish.
For sure.
You know? The only difference between me fishing and running the guide trip is you're reeling in the fish and not me. That's it. That's the way I want it. Because I want to be me. If you like it, love it, hate it,
Right.
this is me.
So what was that very first trip like?
It was last minute. Because like I said, Spencer's boat got destroyed. He's like, I'm either going to cancel these 3 trips or you're going to take them. So I took them. The first 2 guys were amazing. I think they came from Illinois. They were already here.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, they were already here. They made a weekend of it. And their cap of the weekend was going out with Spencer. Well, I disappointed them right away.
I ain't Spencer, but
Plan B. But we had such a good time. We had a blast.
That's
We
cool.
went on the east side, and because everything was low.
Yes.
So we went on the east side. We hit some familiar spots. I mean, we ran clear up past that place that water bubbles out and whatnot.
And this was in your boat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like which I've got a jet boat.
Right,
So
right.
it can go in 4 inches of water as long as you're cruising.
For sure.
So we hit 15 different spots. We caught a couple channel cat. I think we caught one little flathead. But we had monsters on the screen at, I don't want to say the place, but everybody knows like the wintering hole place.
Yeah.
There was a 80 to 100 pounder on the screen.
Oh.
So I got zoned in, and I was like, we threw cut bait, we threw live bait, I'm like, oh, I don't care if you guys are even here. This is what I would do at this moment. But we had so much fun. We had a blast, and actually they're coming back next year. We
That's
got
cool.
another
That's
trip.
cool.
So, yeah, for spur, like I said, if you have me on a guide trip, it's gonna be just like if we were out fishing. I'm gonna act the exact same way. I'm gonna do the exact same things, and hopefully it pans out. You know, that's fishing.
What would you say has been the best part of guiding and the worst part of guiding?
Best part of guiding is meeting new people that have my same interests and enjoying the same thing I'd be doing without them. I just get to bring them along. And a lot of guys that I've had so far, and girls, don't know the ins and outs. So I'm a teacher at heart. I get to teach them how to read a sandbar, how to read a drop-off, where you want your bait at this time of the day versus this time of the day. And to me, that's awesome. Yeah. To me, I enjoy that. You know, I want them to leave this trip as being a better flathead fisherman than when they came. Even if it doesn't pan out while we're there, which last year it was amazing. Because I think I caught 14 fish over 30 pounds last year.
Wow.
And I think I caught like 8 over 40, which is unbelievable.
Jeez.
I've never caught a fish over 50 pounds. A flathead over 50 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got several blues over 50 pounds, but never a flathead over 50 pounds. And I think I got 8 over 40 last year.
Wow.
Dang.
It was crazy.
Here in Iowa.
Yes.
Damn.
Every single one of them.
Okay, so this isn't part of my list, but like typically, what type of people do you find are reaching out to you? Is it people that?
It's mainly people of the podcast.
Yeah.
People that listen to the podcast, they want to be part of what we are. You know, because Spencer started the whole thing.
For sure.
I'm like his little baby underneath the fucking table.
Here you go, little Ryan. Here you go.
He brought from nothing. from nothing, he brought this crowd into not only kayak flathead fishing and Midwest Iowa flathead fishing, but he brought this audience that just kind of gravitate to the stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah.
And if I could take them out and help them enjoy it, then I'm happy to do it.
So it's basically people that are already into it anyway, right?
Yes, they have the interest, they may not have the knowledge.
Right. And they've probably never actually done it. They just needed something, like this was their platform to jump off on.
And maybe they've even tried it and not been successful, or even been successful but want to learn this little bit, or
Right.
this little bit, or if this scenario, what would you do? So they can take that home to them and apply it.
And are you doing kayak trips too?
I would love to. I haven't yet, but I would love to. And I got a guy who rescheduled, and he's got a kayak and he loves kayak fishing, but he's an older gentleman.
Right.
So he would love to do that, but I'm going to take my boat out and carry the kayaks with us.
Oh.
So I will do the long stretch, and then we'll set up on the log jam
Okay.
and do the kayak out of the log jam, but not the 1.5
Right.
trek
Right.
that it takes to get there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the kayak was kind of something you were, offering as a service.
Yeah, I would love to. There's nothing more relaxing and more scenic than going down the river in your kayak. It's just it takes you out of reality. No matter what happened the day before, you're in that moment and nothing else matters.
I haven't done. I mean, I love kayak fishing. I haven't done it on the river yet.
It's great. Take a weekend and just, okay, I'm putting in here, and I'm gonna go, let's say, 12 miles in one weekend.
How long is your kayak?
10 is
Shit,
what. That's my river kayak.
I might have to get a smaller kayak. I think I'm going to keep my kayak. It's 13 and a half.
Yeah.
Because it's a technically two-seater. But you know how I was thinking about selling it, or I think I'm just going to keep it.
I thought you were gonna sell it and get a boat.
Well, I was thinking
use that money to get a boat.
No, because I heard fishing kids getting a boat, so I was like,
we don't need two boats.
Just
You,
saying.
you can't put BFF on two boats.
No, that's dumb. That's just dumb. Come on, guy. I'm just like using my head. I'm like, dude, he's getting a boat. I'm like, what the hell am I
You
doing?
can't.
Come on.
All right, I want to get a boat to clarify. But anyways, continue your story.
But I think I might have to get a smaller kayak to do it on the river. Right? I mean, you tell me. I've never.
I've had a 12-footer on the river. I had a 12-footer and a 10-footer for a couple years. And that 10-footer, just to me, it's cramped when I'm camping.
Okay.
When I'm camping, I wish I would have kept my 12-footer. But on the 10-footer, when you're tied to a log jam and you get the right bite, it doesn't feel as chaotic as that 12-footer.
So
Really?
why is
No.
that?
I think it's just more compact. You don't have the sway that you do.
Oh.
Because when I was in my 12-footer and I would have a good one tee up on it, if it wasn't at the right angle, you're like...
Really?
I mean, there's a lot of force at a sudden moment,
Yeah.
It's not when the clicker runs, but when you flip that lever forward and you've got a 40-pounder on, that rod is going down,
Yeah.
But then that's why I was wondering, like, a 12-footer wouldn't be more stable than a 10-footer?
You want your mass compacted
Okay.
because that 12-foot is getting that much more current.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna
Getting
catch
that-
more water.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I felt more,
And
because to me,
it's like me as a person. I'm very compact.
yeah.
And I can absorb more than like a lanky dude.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. No.
It's just all mass
Okay.
in one area type deal.
See, I'm thinking about getting rid of the Hobie.
Oh, boo.
Because,
You might
well,
want to put it up on a wall
Boo.
somewhere.
No, don't do that.
Well, the thing is-
just get a new one, bro.
that would be my quote-unquote big water kayak.
Yeah.
But I want to get a big water vessel, so I would need a big water kayak?
I don't know. Big water kayak fishing is so much fun.
It is.
Are you still gonna? So if you
Like
get
especially blue cat. Sorry, I
no,
didn't
no, no.
interrupt.
If you got a boat, are you still gonna kayak fish though? Or are you still gonna
I
want to
think-
kayak fish?
So my thoughts is, if I get a boat, I wouldn't need a big water kayak, like a Hobie, but I would definitely get a small water kayak, like a 10-footer that I
Yeah.
could just throw around, take it to the river.
Mm-hmm.
I would still kayak lakes too, because I just like kayak fishing.
Yeah.
in
There's
general.
nothing better when a big fish hits your line in a kayak and your kayak flips direction
Dude.
and you're just off.
It's a drag. Yeah. When it pulls you.
Yeah.
When it takes
it's
you for a ride.
Unbelievable. You never reel a fish into you. You reel yourself to the fish
Mm-hmm.
and you pick it up.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You
It's
bring
crazy.
yourself to the
Yes.
fish.
Yeah, you just reel yourself to the fish.
I had the same question. Like, people are like, "Why do you like kayak?" I go, "It's just it's something about being right near the water. Number one, you're right on the water, and then like you just said, it's just they pull you to them."
Like down south where we have all
Yes.
gone.
Yes.
Yes.
You're literally 0.5. You're watching your fish finder. You're just rowing, and all of a sudden you just go whoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a bite, I guess.
If
That's crazy.
I didn't do it last year, but I've been doing it for the last 2 or 3 years before that, and I want to go back down
Yeah.
there.
Do you
this
miss
summer.
it? Yeah, you didn't do it. Yeah,
I didn't do it last year.
I didn't. No, we went for my birthday.
That wasn't last year. That was the year
Oh,
before.
fudge. You're right. It was the year before when I caught my monster blue.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Here we go.
So, how about this, Ryan? If you have free time this year, I think we should go down south.
Yeah.
We
I'm
could
going.
Bring the kayaks.
I ran 2 guide trips down there last year.
Yeah. So how does that work? Is that people that are from there or
Yes,
people
they
from
were-
up here?
Yes, I put it on. I've got a Tasler Guide Service Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, this date versus this date, I'm gonna be down in Kansas. If anybody wants to come chase blues, let me know. Because I was going fishing anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Make sure you bleep out the state right there, kid.
No, the state's fine. The state's fine.
Oh, okay.
But that lake has changed.
Really?
Like that was the first trip I'd been down in probably 5 years that I didn't get one 50 pounds or bigger.
Because I know you've been in Spencer's videos down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And caught monsters.
Yes.
Like there was one day I caught over 300 pounds of fish out of my kayak.
Jeez.
Dude.
It was nuts. But this trip, I caught 40 or 50 fish between 2 guide trips. But the biggest one was 15 pounds. And I hit every scenario I could think of.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's so popular that it's just-
Harvesting, or do you think it's?
I don't know.
Well, there's
Because they have pretty good regulations there.
Yeah.
You can
that's
only
what I was wondering, yeah.
keep one of a certain size, but I don't know. And I've had several different groups go down last year, and as far as I know, 15 was the biggest one that was caught.
Yeah, because we went down 2 years ago. Actually, Denny
Yeah,
was
yeah,
down
he
there
went-
with
he
us.
went with us.
We all caught pretty nice fish.
Yeah.
He caught a pig.
Yeah, he did.
I'm surprised he hasn't put out that video yet. Come on, Denny.
Danny.
He's
If he listens.
saving lives at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
he
life
is,
coaching.
He is.
I can't wait to fish with him again. It's been probably 2-3 years since
It
I
was, so,
fished with
it
Denny.
was fun fishing with him,
Yeah.
and it was.
He's such a
blast.
good dude.
Yeah.
He's so laid back and
Yeah.
funny and
Yeah.
yeah.
We had a blast.
He's a good dude.
It was my birthday weekend.
Yeah,
He
it was
joined
his
us.
birthday
Heck
weekend.
yeah.
I caught my biggest blue. He caught his first and biggest blue.
Yep.
My buddy Bo, even though that was probably his second time going down there targeting blues, but he caught his biggest fish. And we were all in kayaks. It was
Yeah.
it was so
it's
fun.
so much fun.
We might, is that a good time? July?
July is
July.
a
That'd
good
be
time.
after
Yeah.
the spawn, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be after the spawn.
Yeah.
Well, we could
Be
do
up
it
in
again
the
for.
mud.
We could do it again for my birthday. We can set something up.
I usually do in July because the flathead are spawning here, so I go down there and get some blue cat.
Do they?
I usually go July, October.
Do they have cabins down there?
They do have
They
cabins.
do.
Because I'm we can talk offline because I can book it.
Oh,
Because I gotta take the family.
he's got to take the package deal.
Yeah, I can't be like.
I usually camp in the back of my truck. Literally, I put a kayak.
But you guys
cot in the back of my
could
truck.
technically tag along.
Is this still on or?
Oh shoot!
Man, see, so if you guys are, we got the audio still going. So Fishing Kit forgot to hit
I just
the record on the camera.
I just looked
again.
up and the camera was black.
Yeah, but it's okay.
That's all right.
But I will book the cabin to give us a little AC because when we went, that shit was 110.
Oh, we went.
Was
The day we
rough.
went was the hottest day of the whole summer.
probably in
and it was
America.
his birthday.
Probably in
Yeah.
America. It was freaking
Shit
horrible.
was melting.
That's funny.
We'll swass up the ass.
We went out fishing that morning. You know,
Yeah.
well, I had a good morning. That was when you caught your alleged whatever.
Here we go again, dude. Come on,
10
man.
to
The Loch
35
Ness.
pounder.
Yeah, he got the Loch Ness.
It was. I swear to God, it's 30, man. It was 30.
Anyway, then we went back to camp and it was so hot and we got plastered drunk.
Yeah.
And
Which doesn't take much when you're sweating your ass off
Yeah.
all morning. Yeah.
we went into town just to go into Walmart to cool down. And our buddy Trey, driving back, so like I mentioned earlier, we got plastered. He was puking out the side of the window on the drive back to camp. Oh, man. It was such a crazy weekend.
We got a designated driver, of course.
Well, Kit was a designated driver. He drove it. He was like, sorry, Trey, but he was a little. He had a rough weekend that weekend.
Well, he did it right. He saved up for the moment, and he 100% is what he is.
He didn't catch his blue cat though. They brought their kayak down there too.
Yeah.
Because there were like 3 other people. Like they brought their kayaks. I think Sean was sake fishing, went down, and Trey went down. They didn't catch no blues, but
There's a lake about 15 minutes to the east of there that I'm going to try next.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I'm gonna skip.
I've
Yeah.
wanted to try down there.
Yeah, I'm going to skip that one and go to one that's less fished.
Okay.
And I've got my college roommate lives down there. It was me as a 133 pounder, and it was him as a heavyweight wrestler. That was our combo. But he lives down there, so I always reach out and meet up with him when I go down. But his information says that 15 minutes to the east is better.
I've
So-
heard in recent years it's kind of on the low,
Yeah.
the better place to go to.
Yes.
well, if July works, we could set something up. It'd be kind of fun. We haven't done it in a couple years, so it could be fun.
Like I said, I usually guide, well, not usually, but I'm going to guide the first 2 weeks of July, and then the last 2 weeks of July, I'm going to travel.
Okay. Okay.
So-
All right. Speaking of guiding, I'm going to go back into another guide question. So for any
Smooth transitions.
for any of the hypothetical people out there that might have an interest in guiding, so how do you get ready for a guide trip?
Well, luckily, I had Whisker Seeker on board with me, and I've got the best terminal tackle, the best rods. You know, I had to go out and buy my own reels, but
Best sweaters.
absolutely right. No, Matt and everybody at Whisker Seeker they've blessed me. I mean, which once again goes back to Spencer. I mean, he was on board. He brought me on board. So anything in my guide trip, you're going to have the best of the best. So that's number one. I mean, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on tackle and rods and reels just to get ready for guiding.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have to do that. You know, because they took care of me. So I had to buy some reels, and the rest of it, they did an awesome job sponsoring me, and I got what I needed, and they still give me what I need. So
Right.
that would be number one, is just make sure that your vessel is equipped the way you want it, like your rod holders are in the right spot, you have a dependable vehicle or a vessel, and make sure all your safety features are there. And then the next thing would be your tackle, your rods, your reels.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's going to be flawless.
Right.
You know, you don't want to go out there with junk, have backlashes, have lines break. you
Right,
know?
right,
Something that's going to ruin the trip for somebody else that could be prevented.
right. So aside from the tackle and the equipment, are you going out in pre-fishing spots or like?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Yes. I spend in June. I sleep on a cot more than I sleep in my bed. Literally, literally. I would say at least 5 nights a week I'm fishing, and that's gonna carry over to my clients.
And you're not single?
I am recently
Oh,
again
okay.
single.
Now it makes sense.
Coincidentally.
Now it makes sense.
That's coincidentally that the guide service is on an uptick and the relationship's on a downtick.
But you're fishing for the real fish.
That's right.
Something's got to give.
Yeah. And if that's what gave, then I'll always love her, but not as much as Flathead.
Not as much as flag. Love that. Love her, not as much as you do. You should put that on a t-shirt.
You know, there's only so much time in a day.
There is.
And a guy has to decide what I'm going to do with that time. I'm a full-time electrician, so I work 10-hour days, and then I've got to squeeze in at least another 4 to 5 on my side businesses. You know, could be my animal control, could be my guide business, could be my videos on YouTube. So that brings me up to 15 hours a day that I have delegated and has to happen. And the rest of it, I get to choose what the hell I want to do.
Right. Right.
Not much time.
That's right. You're a licensed trapper in the state of
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yes, I'm a nuisance control operator.
Nuisance
Okay, yeah.
control.
Yes.
There.
Which before I came here, I had to go. There was a town just 15 minutes north of the town that I live in. we'll skip out the part. Let me start the story over.
Yeah.
So-
I'll make sure to bleep that part out. Town of Bleep.
So,
Bleep.
so just 15 minutes north of where I live, I got a call the other day from somebody that I know very well. It's her son. And evidently he works on the road quite a bit, so he hasn't been home, and his back door was wide open. Well, his neighbor went over to shut the door, and there was a not friendly cat inside of his
Oh,
house.
shit.
And he's not going to be home for a week.
Oh.
Oh.
So he shut the door, couldn't get the cat out. So I get a call. I need the cat out of my house. Not his cat. No idea whose cat it is. So I go in and I'm ninjaing around the house, and I cannot find this cat. It's not a big house. It's like a 2-bedroom, single-story. I don't know where this cat is. I cannot find the cat. So I set a live trap. Day 1, nothing. I mean, there's no turds. Nothing's destroyed. It doesn't smell like cat piss. Nothing. I'm like, I'm going to let it sit another day. So I go check it tonight, right after work. I'm like, okay, I got off today at 5:15ish. I'm like, I don't have to be in Des Moines till 7:30. I'm going to run up there. I'm going to check it. Cat sitting in the frickin' live trap. It sat in that house for, I think, 5 days. Because
Wow.
it was 3 days before I got there. So it hadn't eaten anything in 5 days, and finally smelled the cat food that I had in the live trap and came. So
Interesting.
So
Little
what do you
Tasler
do?
animal
Yeah,
control.
what do you do with that cat from there?
it had a collar on it, so I took it
Oh.
to the. I
So
took
it's
it to the-
somebody's cat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It just got trapped in this guy's house, so somebody's missing a cat in that town. So I took it to animal control. They took it, and I don't know if it was chipped or not, but
Okay.
it's their problem now.
Right.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, if it didn't have a collar on it and it was a stray cat, I don't know.
Would it become a fur hat?
It'd be- well,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
I
not-
don't think a cat could be a fur. They don't have that much fur on them, do they?
Enough to make a hat.
at least a mitten. A kitten mitten.
I mean, you can make a hat out of a raccoon. And,
True, touche. You're right.
But the nuisance operator, you cannot release an animal that you catch within 10 miles of where you caught it, or else it'll go right back.
Yeah.
Now, cats are kind of a fuzzy issue, so I probably would have euthanized it, because I'm not going to release a cat that may or may not have been normal to the wild into the wild, especially now when it's colder than crap.
Yeah.
It's not going to be able to find food. It's probably going to freeze to death. I'm not going to put it through that anguish. I'll probably just euthanize it. But luckily it had a color on it. You know, the animal control, hopefully somebody already reached out to them, missing their cat for 5 days. You know, with cats, who knows?
Yeah.
They come and go.
Yeah, they do.
Some of them. So, I don't know. Hopefully the story turns out well. I just know I washed my hands of it. Move on.
Dude, you're a busy ass guy. And it this YouTube thing, so what do you think of this YouTube fishing thing?
I'm so behind the curve.
Yeah, how's
on
the
that. I mean,
YouTube thing going?
my videos suck. Let's be honest. My videos suck.
You're trying, though.
I cannot wait until spring and I can actually get footage that I'm comfortable with that's my home base. You know, ice
Yeah.
fishing, it's tough to make an ice fishing video,
Agreed.
for my knowledge anyway. A flathead video, a catfish video, a warm weather video, that's more my pace.
Yeah.
So I will be more comfortable, and I believe I'll put out a better quality video.
Well, and
Right now it's like a scratch and dent sale.
Yeah. The,
You get what you
Yeah.
get.
yeah. The equipment also works better when it's warmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't have to change batteries every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Very true.
So those of you that do watch Tasler Guide Service, I appreciate it. Stay tuned. It will get better.
Yeah. Or future Tasler Guide Service watchers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But if you want to check out River Certified Podcast, you got to go to the channel anyway.
Well, it's Tasler Guide Service Podcast, I feel like.
It
now.
is now,
Yeah.
but I've had so many people reaching out saying, I miss it on Spotify.
Yep.
I hate it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Same for us. Same for
Yes.
us.
Which, in a business sense, it makes no sense for me to put it on Spotify, because I pay,
Right.
and get nothing back.
True.
In a wanting to please the fans and the people that watch, it's a conundrum. You know, I want to give them what they want, and it's not that much more work to MP3 it versus MP4 it and put it out at two different places.
Yeah.
But I'm paying $600 a year on something that doesn't pay anything back. That's bad business.
Have you tried to do it on Anchor?
Spencer brought that up when we
So-
were fishing the other day.
So, if you guys are listening to this far, awesome. You guys are fucking badass.
You have nothing better to do. I
you
appreciate
obviously
it.
had nothing better. But if you guys have not checked out Beerfish Fanatics, all of our episodes are back online.
Yes.
And the reason being is because
And they're
of
hilarious. Reach in.
And because of Anchor, because it's free, but they are owned from Spotify owns Anchor
Okay.
FM. So it's free. They will put their ads in for you. You're not going to get paid until you get to a certain amount of downloads, I believe, or something, depending on whatever the ads.
It's same like YouTube. There's
Yes.
a
Yeah.
set amount
Yes.
that
Yep.
you have to reach.
But
Yeah.
at least you will have all your episodes. Because right now, if you guys are wondering, Beerfish Fanatics, all of our episodes are live on all platforms for podcasts and everything. And YouTube, obviously. But it is not because of Anchor. Anchor is free.
Okay.
Because they're owned by Spotify. Spotify wants to keep pushing out all the podcasts. So
Awesome. Because
That-
we started with 60. Like the River Certified was 60
Yeah.
episodes. And I think I've had 5 since then.
yeah,
So I could go back and put those on
go to Anchor. Go to Anchor
And then 65 plus will be on Spotify, iTunes.
We have over 150 episodes live right now.
Do they do iTunes and
Yeah,
all that stuff?
They distribute it to all of them. So
Awesome.
so that's why because we were with Buzzsprout. You know, shout out to Buzzsprout. We love them, and they're really user friendly.
And I think that's what we did.
yeah
As well.
But like you were just saying, it's just the cost, like versus like just it wasn't worth, because our podcast started at 15 minutes an episode. went to 30 minutes, went to an hour, went to sometimes 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is
So-
probably 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gets to a point where people don't realize like it costs more money when you're
Yes.
putting out all these hours. So, but Anchor is free, so go check that out. We're not sponsored by them. They're just FYI, but they are free at the moment, and they have been free since Spotify bought them out last 2 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
And just saying,
cool.
it's free.
You just
Yeah.
gotta deal with a few ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's free. You guys can listen to us for free,
Yeah.
and then. But the worst case scenario, you always can check us on YouTube. For free.
Yes,
So,
YouTube is free. And that's why I switched
Yeah.
to that format. Was not only is it free, but if I start growing it, I'll get some kickback.
Yeah.
Where we had 60 episodes and we averaged like 3,000 views per episode.
Yeah.
And I think 1 month we made $15.
Right.
YouTube is.
You know.
I mean, in regards to monetary wise, YouTube would probably be the best bet if you can.
And it's not even me making it back. It's just when you month after month just keep
Yeah.
gas
Yeah.
mileage,
100%.
time and $50 a month, and it just we were thousands of dollars in the hole and not getting anything in
Makes
return.
sense.
Yeah, especially when you consider the equipment.
Yes,
Like you're
Yes.
so deep in the hole
yes.
Yeah.
as far as equipment.
Which we enjoy it, but as a business sense, you can only enjoy a loss so long. Like we
Yeah.
did a year and a half, 60 episodes, and finally when Spencer headed south, he's like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then
It doesn't make sense.
Then we started looking at it as a business sense, and I'm like, well, I'll start this YouTube channel. We'll put them on there, see.
slowly grow it.
At least it's not costing us anything. It's
Sure.
costing us time, costing us mileage,
Right.
but we enjoy it.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep doing it. And we, like I said, we had 3,000 some every week listening to us, and only probably, I think most of my podcasts now are like 400. So I'm missing that huge
Well,
group that didn't follow.
me and Kid did this shit 3 years ago. We're still down in the hole. We were the idiots that didn't decide to go to the free mode for
Yeah.
a long ass time.
But I'm just saying, I don't know where the disconnect was. Like, if I didn't publicize that now it's on YouTube, I went from 3,000 to like 400.
Well, I think the thing is because the YouTube is because unless you have YouTube Premium, which is something that the audience has to pay for,
Yeah.
if they play it on YouTube, their phone has to be on.
Instead
The
of just
To listen
screen
to it.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, like on
Yeah.
Spotify, you just play it, throw your phone in the
Yeah.
corner, and
Yeah.
they'll just keep
And,
playing.
and it's an audio thing. But my thing is, I highly recommend go to Anchor, and it's free. They're owned by Spotify. I've been doing it. I was contemplating it, I think about a year or two ago. And then this is the cool thing about Anchor. So if you have a video format of it, so the cool thing about Anchor is that because on Spotify you can do video podcasts, and
Really?
they show the video. Only if you use Anchor as the host.
So if somebody wanted to just listen to the audio,
They can still listen to it on Spotify.
and I don't have to redo an MP3,
You don't have to redo.
I could just
it.
put my MP4 in.
That's the greatest thing about Anchor and Spotify
That's
because
cool.
they're combined. And then we were gonna do that, but then they didn't have the monetary thing, and that's why we flipped back. But now I'm like, you know what? We're doing the free mount.
yeah, but it's not like we were making money off
No.
of it
Exactly.
anyway.
It
So.
wasn't a
Yes.
ton. Yeah, it's
Yes.
this is like you're just saying we're doing this out of for
Yeah,
fun.
if
Yes.
you're like a Joe Rogan or something, of course,
different.
Yeah, then you might like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I don't want to
Yeah.
do this because
Yeah.
there's no monetization. But
And I don't care about making money. I just don't want to spend money.
right,
Yes.
I don't want to spend money for you guys to, and I'm sorry. 'Cause
Money is money,
I did for a
right?
year and a half.
Get
I,
that.
But
I
yeah,
spent
I'm
money to
with
give
you.
you entertainment.
100%, 100%. I'm with you. I highly recommend that. And like the cool thing though, if you're doing video format on top of getting on YouTube, Spotify will show the video format
That's cool.
of your thing as long as you use Anchor. So
And
that's
even
the thing.
if I put it on YouTube as well.
It'll be a video,
Right?
Yeah, it'll be a video. Because YouTube don't give a shit. They're
I
just-
know, but I just didn't know if this free app, even though I had it on another format, if they would be like, no, that's copyrighted because
YouTube
it's on
don't.
over
Oh.
there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
okay, I'm gonna jump in this real quick. I do not want to drag this certain topic off, but I got my first copyright claim
Ooh,
against one of my
You get
videos.
nicked?
I got a copyright strike and I got one of my videos taken down. It was a short, so I took a clip that's been floating around the internet, the walleye cheaters.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But you know,
The song?
I cut it, put some different audio on it, added some stuff, which I'm not a copyright lawyer, but some people argue it's fair use because you can take I could take one of your videos,
Yeah.
and then I could sit there and commentate on it. Like, I don't need your permission to take your
No.
video and comment on it. That's fair use.
It's public video once I release
Yep.
it. Yes.
And you could argue this is the same situation. I took another person's video, I added stuff to it. It was transformative.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not a copyright lawyer, so I don't know all the ins and outs, and I can't afford a lawyer. But so the walleye video. So there's this company. I'm gonna call them out right here. Viral Hog. They copyright.
Douchebag.
They copyright strike my video.
They did?
Got it taken down.
Uh-huh.
And on their copyright claim said I used content that they owned, and then the content that
You know how many videos of that situation are out
Yeah.
there?
yeah. So well, the thing
How many
was,
cell phones were running at that time?
but the thing is, the content in question, they effed up. They said it was a different video, which I had nothing to do with. But so I reached out to them. I was like, "Hey, why is this happening?" Because I got a copyright claim against my video. Got the video taken down. I got a strike on my YouTube channel. And the thing with YouTube is you get 3 strikes
Done, right?
and your channel gets deleted. Basically, they delete your career on YouTube.
Holy crap.
Yeah. 3 strikes.
So I got 1 strike on my
All
YouTube.
that work you put in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so I'm like, okay, there's 2 things you can do. Reach out to the copyright claimer or whatever. Or you could file. Basically, you have to take legal proceedings
Yeah.
to fight against it. So like lawyers.
This is why I don't like technology.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyways, I reach out to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, oh well, like in this case, there was a mistake in the copyright thing, but it was a different video instead of the one that was in the claim." But then they said that doesn't change the fact that you used content that we owned, and then they linked this other video, which was the walleye stuff.
So
Yeah.
another video that they figured out.
But well, it was the walleye cheating video.
Cheater,
But
yeah.
the thing is, my video came out before theirs, and I cut it, added stuff to it, which you could argue is transformative,
Yeah.
which would fall under fair use. But so I looked up this company, Viral Hog. What they do is they go around, and once certain videos build traction, get popular, they go out and buy the rights to distribute that video,
Oh,
and then they
Jesus.
go around copyright
boy.
striking.
So they do it. It's a purpose, on purpose.
They're douchebags. I
Yeah,
called
yeah.
it right the first time.
So
absolute douchebags.
They basically go after small channels like
Yeah.
me. I don't want to get a lawyer to defend. Like, I don't
No.
want to pay thousands of dollars just
No.
to save a 9 or 50-second video.
when I made a video to have fun,
Right.
it's not like I was.
So why would they? I mean, what's the benefit of them even doing this? then?
Basically, they're trying to get money out of me.
Somebody. Okay.
So they said, "Oh, you could pay us for their losses of $70 and pay another $70 to reinstate my video and use their
Yeah.
content."
So it's.
Would that take the strike away from you?
I don't know if it does.
I mean,
But still, he's out $140.
True,
And
very
let's say
true.
they did that to 10 people on that same video.
I'm pretty sure if this is
100.
their business
Yeah.
model. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I could go and fight it
Thousands.
or just be like, nah, f it. Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
want to f with it.
Yeah.
So I think their thing
Viral
is
hog.
Viral Hog.
Boycott.
F them.
Go look them up.
F them guys.
Like, if you don't
Yeah.
believe me,
Send them hate mail.
just Google this. Viral Hog copyright strike. And I looked it up. There's like lawsuits going on against them.
So that's their niche.
That's their thing.
That's their business.
That's
Yeah.
their thing.
They are professional douchebags.
Yeah. And So they're big enough where they can have lures and go out against.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to fight
And
it.
this is original content, so suck it.
It's true though. Man, that sucks, dude.
So like I don't even want to bother. So I took my video of the same thing on Facebook. I deleted it. I don't want anything to do with it.
So my thing is though, is your channel still has that strike?
Yep, I still got one
So
strike.
How do you get rid of strike on YouTube? I don't know. I mean,
So
I'm
you
just
got to
asking.
take a copyright class on YouTube, and after 90 days, it'll disappear. Or they say you could reach out.
Do you have to have a blower in your vehicle?
I know, right? I'm like,
Or they say
Can you not be around small children?
you could reach out to the copyright holder,
but
which is Viral Hog, because they bought the rights to
Yeah.
it, which is what I did.
But
and
they're not gonna take
They
it
want
now.
me to pay them,
Yeah.
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 and I'm like,
That's just a normal Tuesday for them.
yeah. So you can take that class or what?
I did take the class. It's free. It's like a 4-minute video. I watched it.
So, then
So now I gotta wait
90
90 days.
days for them to take that strike off.
Yeah.
Man, that's some horse shit, dude. Sorry, man.
So in like 82 days, what video are we making?
I'm only gonna post stuff that I filmed myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I kind of like
Lesson
that
learned.
But I did like
know?
that video. Speaking of the walleye cheaters, so I mean, I'm glad you kind of brought this up. But for some stupid reason, I was drinking the other day. I was just having a couple of drinks.
Allegedly.
And I go, what are those guys up to nowadays? I was just curious. So I Googled this and I YouTube there. You know, I was just like, what are they up to? You know, what happened, right?
Yeah.
I know the story.
So, homie, the guy, him and his son, I guess, allegedly went to a bowling alley. Allegedly, again, I better say this shit, allegedly.
And they both 300s every game.
No, they were spending $100 bills, allegedly, that were fake. Counterfeit money.
They got him and his son with counterfeit.
And they got
$100
arrested.
bills.
They got charged and arrested for using counterfeit.
Like you can't be surprised at this
You
point.
can't. That's what I was saying. I'm like, man, at this point, it's
If that's a coincidence, that dude needs to just check out.
It's
He
a-
needs to go to Mars.
Yeah.
it's a personal trait that they are just. I'm sorry. I'm.
And the worst part
Yeah,
is you got to feel
allegedly.
bad for that kid
Yeah.
because he didn't have a chance.
Right.
If your dad's teaching you these things,
Yeah.
you don't have a chance.
Right.
That's what you know.
So he got caught cheating on the walleye tournament, and then all of a sudden, a couple months later, the thing was still going on. A couple
Yes,
months later,
it's-
so it
yeah.
wasn't like it was like 10 years ago. This is like literally a couple months, and this shit is still hot and fired. And then this guy got arrested
He's
with
like,
his
I got
son
this. I got
using
this.
fake I got this $100 bills at a bowling alley. That's kind of crazy.
Okay, I see some chairs being flipped over. upside, but I got to take a leak real quick, and I got one last
Yes.
question for Ryan. I'll be
too.
right back.
We'll come right back.
Okay, we are back. We all needed a potty break.
Yes,
actually.
we did.
So to finish off, what was the one that you wanted to talk
I have
about before?
one last question for
Okay.
Ryan.
All
Let's
right.
call it a last cast, shall we?
Yeah. Okay. Another hypothetical. If a
Hypothetical.
guy was interested in starting a guide service or getting into guiding,
I had a guy ask me in my area, he's like, I really want to guide, but now you're guiding.
Okay.
My response was, if you think my competition is going to ruin your business, you're in the wrong business.
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you have a dream and you want to go do it, you're not going to stop me. You're not going to stop me. I'm going to frickin' do it. So if you are a small business owner in any field and you want to do something, go do it.
Right.
There's the only person that's going to stop you is you.
100%.
You know, and like I was telling Kit, if you asked me a year and a half ago if I was going to be a fishing guide next summer, I'd have told you you're full of shit.
Yeah.
But I promise you, there's nothing that's going to stop me from being a fishing guide because that's in my goals. I don't care about the competition. I don't care about the water levels. I don't care about fishing conditions. I'm going to put my clients to the best of my ability on a certain fish, and we're going to have a good time every single night out. They're going to have my A game.
There you go.
And if you can't do that, then go work for somebody else.
All right, so maybe I got 2 more questions. Okay, let's say the fishing's slow. What are you doing to keep your clients entertained?
I'm being myself.
I don't know.
First of all,
can you bring beer? Like, is beer okay? Like,
beer
I know
is
you're cooking
definitely
food
frowned upon
Yeah. on a guide trip.
on a guide trip.
Right.
Now, overnight trips, I offer 12-hour trips. Now, overnight trips, if we're off the boat on a sandbar, I personally have no problem if they want to partake in a few beverages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we're having a kegger on the sandbar.
Hey, I got a.
I'm saying if you're on the sandbar, off the water, out of my vessel, and you want to drink a 6-pack of beer, then to me that's flathead fishing.
It's still a liability issue when they're
It
on your
is.
boat. That's
Yes.
why.
Right.
And I have a rule that they sign a waiver before they get on my boat that strictly says no alcohol.
Okay.
If we're on a guide trip, a 12-hour trip, and they want to partake in alcohol once we're on the sandbar, then my insurance and my contract is null and void. We are now fishing. We are fishing partners. We're buddies.
Right.
You're not under my insurance anymore. Everything that you do is on your liability.
Okay.
We are now not on a guide trip. We are fishing.
Right.
So that'd be just like me and you going out tonight fishing.
Right.
If you get hurt, that's not on me.
Yeah.
That's on you.
Right. Okay.
So if we're on a 12-hour guide trip and you want to drink a beer, we are no longer on a guide trip.
Yep.
As soon as that first beer pops, we are fishing as friends.
Right. So I don't even think the hypothetical guy that wants to be a guide one day would even think about that.
And that's something that I turmoil with because I've only had 2 overnight trips and neither one of them drank. So
Yeah.
it hasn't really come to the forefront.
Yeah.
But in my personal opinion, if we're on a sandbar, landlocked, we're not going anywhere the rest of the night, and you want to have a couple beers, have a couple beers.
Yeah.
I personally am not because I'm on a guide trip. I am. But if you want to have a drink, then we're no longer guiding.
Okay.
We're fishing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I drink a lot of beers when I fish.
Yeah. Like, Ryan can put down some beers. If you watch his podcast, there's beers stacked on the table.
Bush latte.
That's right. We usually start with a case, and then we just drink them. So that way you're not down here digging. I just put a case on the table, and once the case is gone, the podcast's over.
I was watching the last episode. We had him and Spencer on. I'm like, holy shit, that table they get filled up pretty good, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Most of it was dim sum, but
Yeah, right.
you had a spread.
Man, dim sum sounds good. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, dim sum sounds good. But anyways, okay. My last
Sorry.
The last cast.
my last hypothetical, if somebody wanted to be a guide, this is something he would want to know. Do you plan or do you want to go full time one day, and what would it take for you to go full time as a
Absolutely.
guide?
I would love not only a guide, because I have an animal control business on the side, and I have the YouTube I've started out. If I could be self-sufficient as an outdoorsman, not only as a fisherman or a guide, but if I could be self-sufficient to where I could make what I am making now as an electrician and also have the free time to pick and choose what I do and cut out that 50 hours a week that I work as an electrician, love it. I would love it.
Right. So it wouldn't even necessarily be full time guide. It could be, half the day guiding, half the day YouTube, and then I don't know, another
Yes.
4 or 5 hours trapping.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever it would take to be on that spectrum, I would love it.
Right.
Yes. Now, could you make it in central Iowa as a guide full time? That'd be tough. It really would be tough. Because let's say, it literally boils down to $100 an hour is what we charge. 600. Spencer and I are then kind of a team, so we run the same rates. 600 for 6 hours, 1,200 for an overnight, 12 hour. So at $100 an hour, you have to be pretty dang busy to make a career at it. Because remember, there's going to be bad times. You know, I'm not going to run a crap load of guide trips in late July because I'm not going to be able to put my clients on pristine fishing conditions. Once it gets, you know, late August, early September, I'm going to start tailing off. So that's months of time before ice fishing that I'm going to be non-productive on the guiding front only. Now, my animal control and hopefully someday the YouTube channel may fill that void, but for right now it doesn't. So I'll work 50 hours a week as an electrician. I'll work 40 hours a week as my side businesses, and we're just going to keep running on no sleep.
Grinding.
Because that's what it's going to take, truthfully.
You
I'm not going to snap my fingers and all of a sudden be successful. It's going to take work, and I'm willing to do it. So
Yeah, and it's not like you're not guiding every day.
no, I try to. I've got every weekend. Take that back. I've got my daughter every other weekend.
Okay.
And the weekend I don't have her, I have her that Thursday. So 3 days every 2 weeks, 4 days every 2 weeks, I've got my girl. That precedes anything in the world. Nothing will step on that. So I've only got 2 weekends a month to guide. And then let's say I run 2 guide trips during the week. I run my open weekends. So I'm looking at 2, 4, 6, probably 8 trips a month is all I personally at my preference, I guess. I could do more than that. But I would say 8 trips a month would be my max.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. All right, so I guess I got another question. All right, so if you didn't have the trapping and your other side gigs, how many trips would you need to guide a month to do that strictly full time?
So let's say you take home, let's say $900 a week from your day-to-day job.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good paying job.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a comfortable life.
Yeah.
So let's say you take a 6-hour trip, 1 6-hour trip a week, you got $600. Okay? Then you have to add the gas, the time, the insurance,
Expenses.
the breakdown of a boat, because a boat's going to break down.
Right.
You got to take in your tackle. So I would say if you are guide only and want to maintain your life of a $900 an hour or $900 a week job, you need three 6-hour guide trips. Because you're going to have those added expenses that you wouldn't at your normal job.
A week.
Boat, gas boat, driving, which I drive this when the water was low, like it has been. I drove an hour to every single guide trip one way.
Damn.
So I had to drive an hour, pay that gas, pay the time, pay my boat gas, run a 6-hour or 12-hour trip, and then come back to the boat ramp and get everything cleaned up, ready to roll, drive an hour back home, and then be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
And plus, it's just the added stress that you want to make sure your customers try to get
Yes.
fish.
And with flathead catfish,
Yeah.
it's impossible to guarantee a fish.
Yeah.
If you were
Yeah.
a channel cat guide, you could almost guarantee I'm going to get you on some fish.
Right.
It may not be the quality that you want to
But-
get them.
Yeah. And people wonder why guide fishing trips are so expensive. They don't really understand the behind, the cost, the expenses. It's not just me taking you to my hot spot.
It cost me $13,000 to get a boat. After I drove 6 hours to get it.
But that's
You know
the thing,
what I mean?
Because a lot of people think that, though,
And it wasn't ready. I had to put rod holders and everything
Yeah.
else in it.
But that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, just take me to your hot spot. You know what I mean? That's it. Why
Now-
do I have to pay so much to take me to your hot spot? That's why a lot of people think that what guides are doing.
Now, there is A, B, and C spots. If I've got a guy who is from my hometown that wants to fish my personal spots, he's going to sea.
For sure.
We'll probably catch a fish, but if he would move here or here, we would catch a fish. Because I'm not going to sell my spot that I earned for $600.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I respect
we
that.
brought this up on our own
Yeah.
podcast because before I even talked to any guides or anything like that, I just thought from my own perspective, if I was a guide, I guess I didn't break it down to like exactly who they are and where they're from, but I would have the guide spots, and then I would have my
Nobody's
own
getting my
spots.
honey holes.
Right,
Nobody.
exactly.
There's no dollar amount.
Exactly.
Yes. Because I've had best friends ruin
Burn.
my best spots.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm not taking guide trips there. I beat up best friends over that shit. I'm not taking guide trips there. No. But that's just, and it may not even be the best fishing spots, but it's the ones I hold dear to my heart.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean?
No, I can
That grew up on.
Understandable and definitely respect that.
But yeah, if there's a guy from Wisconsin that wants to come fish, you're getting a spot, baby.
Yeah,
You're
baby.
getting a spot. We're putting you on a 40, and we're gonna cheer all the way back to Wisconsin.
There we
Right
go.
on, right on.
But if you're from 5 minutes away from me, and
Then why are they
And-
hiring you though? They
and-
could just go find a
well,
spot.
and every
But they-
Facebook picture has a picture of a flathead in your garage. Yeah.
You're getting to see in these spots.
Yeah, you might get a passing grade.
I get you.
Oh, man.
It's
But-
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough dealing with people because most people are amazing. I have not had a bad guide trip. Everybody that's reached out to me and I've taken on a guide trip, we've had an amazing time. They've been great people. I can't complain. But someday that will change.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There will be a day where I'm like, dude, what the?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say.
that's just people.
Yeah.
That's people.
Well, since like you were talking earlier, you kind of basically look into people's. Well, you get to know people.
Yes.
And is there ever a time where it's kind of like a vetting process, basically?
Yes.
Where is there ever a time where you kind of had to turn down a trip? Or
Luckily, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not saying that'll never happen, but luckily not yet. I did have someone reach out to me this year. I didn't book it, but they're like, okay, it's $100 an hour, but can you do like an 8 to midnight trip instead of a 6 to midnight? So now we're cutting down to $400.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, and it was kind of a questionable. I felt weird about it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like you're looking for a spot type deal. So now they're trying to buy my spot for $400 instead of $600. I'm like, no, the liability and the cost of operation does not justify a 4-hour trip. And that's how I got around that. But if they don't call me back, I'll be more than okay with it.
Yep. No,
Because it
I hear
just
ya.
didn't feel right.
Right.
For sure. You have anything else, guy? Because
I feel like there's always something else. The more we talk about it.
that just means that we got to get Ryan and Spencer maybe next time if he's available. We'll just got, and if not, we'll just get Ryan. I'd rather have Ryan than Spencer. I mean, Spencer's all right, but
Dickhead.
he's RD for a reason.
RD.
But
Rad dude.
right. We'll just have to get you guys back. And, huge shout out to Fire Trucker Brewery keeping us here because we got all their chairs upside
we
down.
ran away all their company.
Yeah, and they're closed already, so we're just staying a little extra to record. So it is what it is, man. But you got anything else for Ryan, guy, before we wrap it up?
Okay, we've been talking about your guide service all night. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, book a trip, how can they do that?
Reach out to taslerryan@hotmail.com. Jump on my YouTube channel, which is Tasler Guide Service. Also, you can jump on Facebook at Ryan Tasler, Instagram at taslerryan. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, we'll link all that stuff too.
Yeah, we'll definitely link everything in the show notes and everything. And huge shout out to Ryan. Thank you for just driving.
Thank you, guys.
Coming,
I had
hang
a
out with
blast.
us. Appreciate you, and we'll definitely have you back on again. But everybody, don't forget. Let's get Let's get his YouTube channel up to 1,000. Let's get
That'd be cool.
Fishing Kits YouTube channel up to 3,000. You're almost there, right?
I'm creeping.
Got it.
Me too.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then I think I'm stuck at like 222.
Just keep.
Yeah, you're just getting started,
Yes,
though.
yes.
You'll get there.
Yes.
Just keep
You'll get
grinding.
Yes, and I'm not worried about it because I'm
Don't-
having a good time.
There you
and
go.
my videos suck. They will get better. Come on, June.
Too funny. Check out by the time this episode comes out, I'll have a Ma Pop fishing video out. You guys will see me what do you call that? I was
Catching
waiting.
lake trout?
No, that'll be a
Yeah.
different video. But I'll be waiting for some white bass. So I should have
Nice.
that. I should have that video out before or after this podcast. Go check out that though. And then we can talk about this next time. But Ma Pop Sports, go check that YouTube
Ma
channel.
Pop Sports,
We'll put all the
baby.
link. If you like sports gambling, sports cards, go check that out. Unfiltered style. So
That's what I'm gonna do on my way home.
There
I'm
you guys
not
go.
gonna look at my phone while I drive, but that's what I'm gonna do on my way home. Check out Ma Pop Sports.
there you guys go. And then you guys want to help us out, feel free, leave a review, whether on Spotify, iTunes, and FYI, like I just said, all the episodes should be available on all audio platforms now
Yep.
because of what did I say?
Anchor.
Anchor. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you want to hear more from Ryan, he also has his podcast.
There you
Yes,
go.
absolutely. Tasler Guide Service. I do a video every other week and a podcast every other week. If you want to jump on the River Certified videos, we have 60 videos out or 60 podcasts out on iTunes, Spotify, all the good stuff.
There you go. So, other than that, man, I'm gonna go drink some more water, and then like he was just saying, stay tuned because I am hopefully, cross my finger, catch some lake trout this weekend.
Oh,
Heck yes.
What's
speaking
up?
of
What you got?
waiting videos,
What you got?
I got a waiting video myself, and I caught a freak of a wiper.
Oh,
It
I think it's the same time when we went together. Or
actually,
you went the day before me.
I went, caught the freak show wiper, and I told you about it, and you went,
And I
that's
caught
when
shit.
you
Found some wapers.
Yeah, pretty much. So check out our
Heck
YouTube
yeah.
channel, and then
Hell
you guys
yeah.
will see everything. So, but other than that, man, I appreciate everybody. Till next time.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys.
See ya.